Dear students, welcome to Lal Sir's classes. In this video, we are going to talk about the last stanza of the poem A Photograph by Shirley TOULSON. It reads like this. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. Wonderful abstract imagery we find here in this stanza. And of course, we see the nostalgia. The poetess is very much missing her mom. The word meaning silences here a complete absence of sound, of course. Its personification as well as alliteration, we'll discuss separately about it. As far as the paraphrase is concerned, the poet says that her mother died 12 years ago. The same age that mother was in the photograph. As many years, you see, it makes it very clear. So 12 years. It has been her mother died. Whenever the poet thinks of her mother's death, she cannot explain what effect she has of her mother's death. Because these sad moments, and particularly a loss of a mother, cannot be explained in words. Of course, English literature is full of a number of poems, my God, talking about separation of mother. But then there is no appropriate word that can express the affection that we all share with our mothers. So, death has silenced her mother, which has also left her speechless. Who is her here? The poetess. She has become speechless because the shock, the loss is so severe that she cannot explain it in words. Talking about the poetic devices, as I told that I am going to explain it separately. Now, in this poem, we find alliteration, stood still, saw. So, saw sound, alliteration. Alliteration is a poetic device in which we find consonant sound repeated. That is what is alliteration. Again, another example of alliteration we can say terribly transient. Now, terribly transient, and silences. Now, here silences, of course, we have saw, alliteration as well as personification, because silence is acting like a person, it silences somebody. So therefore, we can also say there is a personification in this. Now, transferred epithet. When we talk of transferred epithet, it is of course a kind of personification as well. When we find any qualifying words which are otherwise used for human beings are transferred to non human beings or concept. If I say, oh my childhood, where art thou? That also becomes a kind of, because I am addressing childhood as a person. Okay. Oh, the west wind, personification, of course. Now, washed their terribly transient feet for the sea. So, what is actually personified here is sea. Ocean is personified here, which is washing their terribly transient feet. And therefore, this becomes, because these are qualifying words, washed their terribly transient feet. So, terribly transient, feet has become terribly transient, and therefore it's transferred epithet. Now, the next poetic device in this case, we have oxymoron, also called We know this by the name of paradox as well as juxtaposition. So we have a beautiful phrase here, labored ease of loss. Labored ease becomes an oxymoron. This is also from a contrast family. In a separate video, I'll be explaining you all the difference. Okay, various uniqueness. If you say irony, sarcasm, then satire, okay, juxtaposition, all these belong to basically contrast family, antithesis as well. Okay, so I'll be explaining this separately. Now, talking about this particular poem, we have another personification. It's silences, I have already explained. Then another one is synecdoche. We pronunciate it like synecdoche. The poet has used the device of synecdoche in the form of part for whole in the ninth line. She writes the word feet, terribly transient feet. The word feet is very important here. It talks about, but she means the whole body. So, in definition, we can very well say when a part denotes the sense of wholesome, we can very well say that it is synecdoche. I hope I have made the poetic devices very clear to you. That's all in this video, and see you in the next class of Lal Sir. Bye bye.